and to help other people either overcome or even avoid many of those types of circumstances, to live the life they want, to work the career that they want. And so from a value standpoint and more of a psychographic, that's more about who they are. From the demographic, it's broad. We draw very well everything from corporate executives that are leaving or have left the workplace or been let go. There's many that have come into the coaching profession because they want to be able to work with future entrepreneurs and executives and help them really advance their careers, maybe even making some of their career transitions as well. But we also draw from many other fields outside of business. It's not just the business HR, training and development type of community that comes to us. It's nurses, it's teachers, it's social workers, it's therapists who want to add a coaching component to what they do. So it's a lot of different types of helping professions that very often come to coaching, and they will then either open up their own coaching practice or in some instances bring this back to the type of organization, whether it's back into a corporation or even back into a hospital, because coaching inside of the healthcare system is growing very well. Consultants that are adding coaching to what they do as a part of their normal consulting practice, adding on to what they provide, providing financial advisory through coaching type services as well. So it's a very, very broad demographic, a lot of different backgrounds that are enmeshed, but it is that value system that binds. And it's that value system of truly wanting to give back, to be able to help others, and to really enjoy yourself and be rewarded in the process.
Okay, great, fantastic. So once they can identify themselves that that's what they want to do, they want to become a coach, mm-hmm. What is it that they need to go through in terms of the minimum education to be able to be effective and start making income?
There's two sides of it. One is what you already mentioned before. We do require a PhD, but it's a PhD in life. And that's where a lot of the experiences come from. And I'll get to the actual experience of the program and coaching and whatnot in a second, but that's really where a lot of the experience comes from. It is, people that are used to living life, working in the workaday world that we have got, and that is really the first and biggest requirement, because they're coming to us to learn the coaching process. They're coming to us to learn how to grow their business. That being said, if they are individuals that have a certain amount of, these are more, again, qualities than they are experiences, but qualities where they're very open-minded, they're a bit of they'd consider themselves a bit of a self-starter. They're maybe relationship-driven, meaning for things, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, they like to network, is one way of expressing relationship builders. These are people that have a sense that other people can connect and relate to pretty well. They might be somebody that many of their friends or colleagues come to for advice. Those are the types of experiences that typically yield very good coaches. Now, specifically for us, they go through an admissions process, an admissions interview, to really get a sense of all of those types of experiences and qualities, to see how how strong of a fit they are necessarily for our program and the types of things that we do. Because we're not necessarily a fit for everyone, but they need to go through that admissions process and really find out a lot about themselves as a result of it. So it's a learning process as well as the admissions process.
Yeah, give us a sense, Luke, in terms of IPEC's history. Mm-hmm. I think you guys have been around for more than 10 years, but how many coaches have you trained, certified? Mm-hmm. Just so people have an idea, and the size of the staff that supports this machine.
We have graduated now over 3,000 plus coaches. I think actually with our current classes that are nearing graduation, we'll be well over 3,500 and above that point. So we've graduated a lot of coaches over the course of our 11-year history. We are an organization. We're based and headquartered in New Jersey, but we have 12 locations now. We've just expanded up into Canada, initially in Montreal, but it looks like Toronto won't be far behind. But then we're all over the country. We're in almost every major metro from the East Coast to the West Coast. And so with that, we've got a staff between our core employees, executive corporate staff that's here, the admissions team, training team, mentors that we work with. We're an organization of 75, 80 individuals with some of the contractors. So this is a sizable organization that's grown over the course of these 11 years. And it's really, to be honest with you, the last 3 or 4 years, about 4 years now, that to what your point has been, the element of consciousness and energy that is entering into the mindset of society and of community has obviously responded extremely well to us, because that's core to a part of that's core to our philosophy, and they've responded very, very well, and that's enabled some of the just extraordinary growth that we've had over the past 4 years of our 11-year history. So we're a sizable organization where we'll probably even be further overseas actually within the next 24 months, maybe sooner.
Awesome. So let me get a couple of clarifications about the organization. Is how do you provide business development and ongoing support for your coaches?
Actually, as part of specifically for the coach certification program, we actually developed this. Was not an element that we had initially when we created the program, but we introduced it about 4 years ago, where we actually provide them with a business development program as part of going through. It's not something they pay extra for. They can just opt into it if starting a business is where they're going. So we include it within the tuition. It's their right, and they go through a series of different teleclasses, coaching, etc., that allows them to very much focus on what they need to be doing with their business over the first 6 months to help them get started and get going. In addition to that, we've got a very robust coach community that we have built over the course of our 11 years, and we've been investing more and more in that over the last 24 months. It's going to be invested even more heavily in the next 24 months as well, because of the size of the community continues to grow, where we give them that chance to meet on a regional basis. We lead them with different teleclasses on subjects that they tell us are part of the continual learning that they would like. That's how we've developed some of our programs. The energy leadership piece that I mentioned used to be a graduate program, but it's now included in our entire curriculum. It's part of that. But we develop a lot of additional programs at the request of our students to continue to help them to learn and to grow and to keep them on course so that they can realize the objectives that they're after.
Fantastic. Now, something I really got impressed by, Luke, when I went to your website, and that is that you're bringing coaching into schools. Talk about that for a minute.
Absolutely. I very gladly. We were approached by an organization out of Texas about 15, 18 months ago, and it's an education service center, Region 20, down in San Antonio. And they are very well reputed in the education space and have developed a lot of programs. And they had already been doing some work around coaching in schools, which has been a major trend developing in education for a while now. And they wanted to develop an accredited program. And so they sought out and reviewed a lot of the accredited programs and chose us as the top partner for them to co-develop a program that enables superintendents, associate superintendents, principals, vice principals, even lead teachers to go through a course that is coaching competency based, that they allow them. It's a coaching training that allows them to bring the coaching skills back on campus into the schools. And so this is K-12, including even college administration and college campuses, where they are looking to change the culture within their campus using a coach-centric model. And the initial, it's about 45, 46 students, predominantly principals, that have gone through the program. The response has been amazing. They're sending us just incredible anecdotes, and we're in the midst of doing some studies and research with them right now that it's truly changing the way that they work with their faculty. It's creating a different level of engagement. It's creating a different level of awareness within the school itself, and the impact that it's now having on the students, because obviously you've got to wait